We're currently working on the 124. It looks like the glow plugs are not working. So what we're going to do is we'll probably have to remove the intake manifold. Let's see if that's needed. So this is the service mode for this 124 and 123. You have these little clips. You can do it alone. And then you have a full access to the engine bay. Most likely what we're going to have to do to get to the glow plugs, basically the engine isn't heating up because of the glow plugs. So it needs to get to its optimum temperature, then it starts. But they're right over here. It's really hard to access. I can't even touch them with my finger. So most likely we're going to have to take off this part. This is the intake manifold. This is where the air comes in from. Once we have removed that, we'll have access to the glow plugs and we'll be able to change them. So here we have the glow plug, and I've grounded this side where the thread goes into the engine, and this side I've put the positive. What I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate how one which doesn't work. You don't even get a spark here. It doesn't spark. So that's the first sign of it not working. But it should heat up and you will know. Now we're going to shift to a newer working one, and I'll show you guys what happens. Now here we have one which is newer. We're going to show you what happens. It does spark. Now we're going to keep it on. Come a little closer. Check this out. It starts to smoke. So you know that it is heating up. It is working. It should get red hot like this. This is how you know a glow plug works. It'll get red hot like this. What we did was we put in the heater plugs into the engine. But they fit over here into the block and they heat up the engine. Now we have to put the intake manifold back on. But the problem is that these gaskets, they got spoiled. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some gasket paper in a bit. I'll have to go to the market and purchase some, and we'll trace this, make them and re-put them. We've been working on the 300D. We started it up. So the glow plugs, changing the glow plugs did the job. But now what we're doing is we're working on something new. This is a wide body kit designed by a friend of mine called Automotiver. And it's kind of meant to look like the SEC wide body kit, where it just comes out as a box shape. So what we're planning on doing is we're going to have to make sure it fits here right. We're going to have to test fit it, make sure everything's perfect, and then make a mold off of this. We'll be making one prototype first, making sure it fits right, and then making a mold off of that. What we're going to do is we're going to drill some holes over here and make it such that it could fit in two ways. That's the plan, where either you drill it on and it looks like a bolt-on fender, or you have to bond this and then put putty over it so it gels and it looks completely fine. So that's the plan with this. We're going to cut this area as well and put the old Sacco panels on. So this will have to be bent. We're going to try to bend this with a bit of heat and make sure it fits in this area, and then take a mold over that. We fit the intake manifold. What happened was we had to refit that because of the glow plugs. The car starts fine now, but we basically took that manifold, we scanned it on a normal 2D scanner, and we were able to get the gasket profile. And what we did from that was we actually tried to laser cut it with this paper. This is oil paper. This is basically where the temperatures are lower. And we were able to cut it quite nicely. The gaskets came out quite well. But sadly, that isn't the correct material for that place, for that purpose. This fits on the engine block, and it fits where on the head, the block, and there's a lot of heat. So we needed something a little thicker, and this is the correct gasket material. I haven't tested laser cutting this. I will next time that I require it. But this is more of, this is a thicker material. Sometimes they have asbestos. This is asbestos free. So that is what these are. And basically it had to be cut by hand. So we were able to trace it and cut it this way. This one is a damaged piece, but this is what we had to cut. Here are the one of the 3D printed side fenders. It had to be glued together, so it's yet to be glued together. But this one had to be fitted, and we fitted it, got about 1.5 inch further out. But in order to check and make sure that everything was fine, we took some longer bolts and a couple of nuts, oversized nuts, and we got the wheel out by about 1.5 inch. So now we know exactly where the wheel has to fit and we know that that's how much of a spacer we need. We need a 1.5-inch spacer for these wheels in order for this to fit correctly. So we're going to work on that side. We're going to make the rear fenders too, and we'll be showing you that in the next video. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Bye bye.